Good morning, children. How are you all? Had your breakfast? Okay. Take good nutritious food. Right. So, today is the second section of production and employment, lesson number 3. Second section, lesson number 3, production and employment. So, in the beginning section, the first section, what we learned about the production and employment. What is GDP? And how do we estimate GDP? And changes in different sectors. How the changes in different sectors. These are all we learned in. And what are the different types of economy. That all we learned. So now we discuss about the employment, the working life in India. How the employment taking place and how is the life, how the working life in India. So you see, the gross domestic product of a country, that means all goods and services of in a specified period is called gross domestic product. So this gross domestic product of a country has a close relationship with the total number of people, working people in the country. So it has a GDP has a relation with the it's a close relation with whom, with the who are people are working people in the country. And in every country, as population increases, so when the population increases, they have to provide some they have to provide some employment opportunities to all who are willing to work, isn't it? So such a country has to do. And unless people get jobs to earn, then what happens? They not if they don't have, they cannot fulfill their basic needs, food and all, shelter and all, isn't it? So according to census of 2011, out of 12, 10 million people, in the country, 2011, only 460 million people are working. Here you understand, 1,210 million people are there in 2011. Out of them, only 460 million people are engaged in different economic activities, in the different production line, in different sectors. People are have a occupational structure. Okay. So according to the, I will show you the page number 35. See the page number 35, or I will draw that table. Sector, place of residence, if you have sex means the women or men, all workers. In the place of resident, rural people, urban people. Okay, in the sex, male or female. So this is the table, it is showing these things. And first sector is, you all know that is agriculture sector. The people are engaged, rural people are engaged in 67% and urban people are engaged in 9%, and 44% male, 63 female, and total population or working population are 49. You understand? And next is industry sector. The second one is industry sector. In that 60% from rural areas and urban areas 31, and 26% male percentage and 20 from female percentage. And total working percentage 24. And next comes to service sector. They are 17% rural percentage and 16 urban percentage and 30 male percentage and female percentage 70. Total working people percentage 27. So total 100 from 100. So here what you have to understand is, so what is your observation in this table? Unfortunately in India, see, here 67 rural people and only 9 people are percentages on urban agriculture. See here, because in agriculture very less in the urban areas, isn't it? and male percentage 44, 63. And here still it is industry 16% in rural, 31 because industries are in urban areas, so it is little more increased. And 26 male percentage, 20 female. So like this, there is a different scenario in 2011, isn't it? Okay, so what you can observe here, the very important thing you have to note it down here. Unfortunately in India, while there has been a change in the share of three sectors, definitely there was a change in the three sectors. People are shifting from agriculture to industry, industry to service. But the thing is here, how they are changing in the sectors, like that employment shift is not changing. Employment shift is not changing here. Okay. So now they are not taking place the employment. People are changing because they don't have any alternative in agriculture. Then they go for industries. And from industries to service they are going. But the thing is here, wherever they goes, it is not a proper contribution to the GDP. Okay, I'll explain this. Graph 3 diagram 36 page you see now. 36. See this graph. Sectorial shares of employment. Okay, otherwise I will write down. And 73, 2015 and 16. These are the, you can call it as pie diagrams. Okay. So share this sector. This is 74% only agriculture. That means agriculture, many people are engaged in agriculture activities. And here you see industry 11%. Industry 11% and service 15%. Service sector 15%. This is according to records from 1972 to 73. And 2015 the same thing, it has changed. So here most of the half of the percentage, that means 47% engaged with agriculture activities and service sector 31%, service sector, and industries 22%. Industry 22%. See here also, still the agriculture sector is continuing like that. Agriculture sector, it is continuing like that. But surprisingly, what the result is, see this, when the agriculture sector continues to be the largest, when it is in 72, it is 74%. In the 2015, it is 47%. Even though it is still, it is plays a lot of role. Here also it is continuous. Agriculture sector is continually the largest sector. Still on 2015 also. But the thing is here, why don't employment shift out of agriculture sector? Because it is not enough jobs they are getting in both the sector. Service sector, why? What is the reason here? Here also agriculture sector, more agriculture sector. Here also more. Why? Because in the other sectors they are not getting proper jobs. Okay? Okay, good. Everything is fine here. But whoever working in the agriculture sector, see if it is the biggest sector is agriculture sector, then what happens? It should contribute more to the GDP, isn't it? Gross domestic product, it should contribute more GDP to the gross sector. If at all agriculture is good, flourished. But the thing is here, agriculture sector is only 1/6 of GDP. It is contributing 1/6 of GDP. That means whatever it is giving from the agriculture, that is only 1/6 of GDP, contributing to GDP. Agriculture is the largest sector in India. Even though only 1/6 of contribution of GDP is there. That means they share, the agriculture share is giving very less. And the other thing is, when other industries and service sectors are, though they are less, even though 3/4 share contributing to the GDP. What is the reason behind this? You understand? 1/6 of GDP, that means agriculture, many people are engaged with the agriculture activities in India. Isn't it? Even it is in 72 and 73, or you go next decade also it is like that. But even though they are contributing, the GDP is only 1/6. And remaining sectors are less, even though their contribution is more, that is 3/4 contribution by both the sectors, service and industry. Why? What is the reason behind this? That is, what is the reason is, it means that there are more people engaged in agriculture activity because there is no other alternative for them, first thing. And second thing, there, if for example more people are engaging in agriculture activity but they don't have sufficient work there, more than their potentiality. So here actually for one family is there and 5 people are working in that, for example 10 people are there in one family, and those 10 people are completely engaged in their 5 acres land. Okay, acres land. But the thing is here, only 6 to 7 people only have full work. Remaining ones are also going there and doing some work. But it is, if they don't, if that remaining 3, if they go there or no, if they not go there also, there is no much effect on the production. There will not be any effect on the production. That means they are facing here disguised unemployment. That is called disguised unemployment. What is disguised unemployment? You have to remember very carefully, listen very carefully. In this way, more number of people are engaged than required in agriculture. What? For example, only 6 people are enough for that work, for that agricultural activity. But people are 10 people are working. That means the remaining 4 people, whatever work they are doing, just they are doing like that. It is not affecting much on the production. If they are there or not there also, there is no change at all on the production. So that means definitely that 4 people are definitely they are facing the disguised unemployment. Isn't it? For example, if they are not going to that activity and if they go some other activity, service sector or industry, then what happens? Some more additional money comes to their family. They can earn some more money to help their family. Isn't it? So like that in agriculture sector, lot of people engaged in agriculture activity in India, but they are all facing disguised unemployment. Understood them, children? Next, case study of Gayatri will see here. That's what I am telling here. One more case study. Case study I have to read. See page, if you have a textbook, just see the page 36. Take the case of a small farmer, Gayatri, who owns about 2 hectares of irrigated land, dependent only on rain and growing crops like zogar and red gram. All 5 members of her family work on the plot throughout the year. Why? They have nowhere else to go work. You will see that everyone is working, none remains idle. 5 members are working in Gayatri's family in that agriculture activity. But nobody is idle. But actual fact, their labor efforts gets divided. Each one is doing some work, but no one is fully employed. Everyone is working in some activity, in agriculture activity, but nobody have full work of their potentiality. How much they can do, they are not doing. And fully employed. This is the situation of people who are underemployed, where people are apparently working, but all of them are made to work less than their potential. So everybody is working. Yes, you have work. Yes, we have work. But it is not proper work. If they are there also or not there also, there is no much difference. It will not affect to production anywhere. And think this kind of underemployment is hidden in contrast to someone who does not have a job and clearly visible that are underemployed. So we can call them as disguised unemployment and underemployment. Okay. Not only that, you can have a question. Is it only in agriculture or any other service activity and industry also? Yes, definitely that underemployment or disguised unemployment unemployment not only in agriculture but also service and industry sectors too. Okay, so for example, you take this underemployment, thousands of casual workers. Service sector means many activities in service sector, plumber, carpenter, painter, okay, everybody. So these repair persons and others, they'll have some odd jobs in service sector, isn't it? So when they get employment, whenever their requirement is there, then only they'll get employment. Every day full wages, everyday work will not get in the service sector. So even they are also ready to work for their potentiality, but it is not, they are not using anyway, isn't it? So even in the service and industry sector also, we have the same thing like discussed unemployment. Okay, many of them don't have find work every day. Actually, if casual labor you take, if any construction business is there, then only the casual labor, they will call them and they will go there. So every day they will not have work. If every day they will have work, they will have some wages and they will have some regular employment, isn't it? So such a discussed unemployment even in service sector and industry sector also. How in industry sector? In industry sector also, for example, you take sugarcane plantation. When the sugarcane starts ripening and they'll take all the to transport somewhere. And again, they in that industries they want some laborer whenever the season comes. Only in the seasonal. So there also the industry also they are facing seasonal unemployment. So whenever season is there, then only they will have work. Otherwise they will be idle, isn't it? So such discussed underemployment or unemployment even not only in agriculture sector but also service sector and industry sector also. Okay, at the end there are a limited number of services. For example, when we are thinking that service sector is very great, we are getting good jobs, good salary. Not everything. At the other one end, we'll have software engineers and all, they'll get good salaries and all. In the other end, you see, even service sector means what? Whoever giving services, they'll have employment, isn't it? But at the one end, people are happily living with the high salaries and all. The other end, they will not have such things. For example, cart puller and selling small plastic items and all, they will be selling it every day. So such services, fruit vendors, vegetable vendors, these are all every time they will not have work, isn't it? So such a time, they are also if the skilled people, very much skilled and highly educated people only, in one hand service sector they are fetching. The other end people are not like that. There also they will have same problem like discussed unemployment. Okay. Next, these people very badly manage to earn minimum and perform their services because no alternative opportunities. They cannot go somewhere. If once they are involved in some activity, they cannot do the agriculture or industry, isn't it? So these are all in all the sectors people are facing such unemployment. That's why even in the service sector and industry sector also, if they are not getting proper jobs. Okay, children, I hope everyone understood.